This is Percy Jackson and the Lightning Thief, and it is one of, if not the best book I have ever read. This is also Percy Jackson and the Lightning Thief, and this is not one of the best books I have ever read. I'm a huge fan of the Percy Jackson series, and it's one of the first titles I really ever got into. So it almost physically pains me when somebody messes up the book so much. Enter the age of the graphic novel adaptation. In 2010, three men, Robert Venditti, Attila Fataki, and Jose got together and made the Percy Jackson and the Lightning Thief, the graphic novel adaptation. And oh dear God, the atrocity that was made by these three men is unforgivable. With that said, let's move on. There are many differences and levels of these differences, with some being absolute heresy, and others being somewhat welcome, with a vast majority leaning more towards the bad side of the spectrum. Now let's stop babbling about insults to the gods and actually get into the changes. First is actually relatively annoying. Why is Percy all of a sudden just terrible with mythology? In the books, it shows that he actually knows a lot about Greek mythology and has interest for it, but for some reason, he's now just completely unknowledgeable. With him not knowing basic myths, like how Kronos was defeated, or how he can't even name the Minotaur without help. And also, why is it Percy who's getting in trouble here, not Nancy Bobofit? Like, what? But female dog. Female dog. Anyway, a welcome change to the beginning of this book is an actual argument between Percy and the female. A welcome change to the beginning of the book is an actual argument between Percy and the female dog. However, they do remove an entire scene with Chiron, which kinda disappoints me. The next scene is where my second real beef with this book is. Why in God's name is Riptide a two-handed sword? It is time and time again described as a one-handed sword, but for some inexplicable reason, Attila Fataki made it a double-handed, massive sword. Oh, and what about erasing doodles on textbooks out of punishment? Why is that something that needed to be changed? I don't get it. You could have just kept the first punishment. I don't even know why it needed to be changed. Like, what is this? How could you do this? Why would you do this? What is the point? Let's do a short speed list of all the differences from Yancey to Camp Half-Blood. They say Fury instead of Kindly One. They see the Sisters of Fate at the bus terminal rather than the fruit stand. Sally Jackson's red, white, and blue uniform is out the window. Gabe Ogliano isn't bald. Percy's horse and eagle dream is out the window. Grover's pants are out the window. Percy doesn't make it over the property line to Camp Half-Blood. And Jesus, Mary, Mother of Christ. Why is Chiron's fur brown? In every single description in the books, Chiron is said to have white fur, but in here it's just gone. In fact, all of the graphic novel adaptations, in all of them, Chiron has brown fur. Why? Why, Attila? Why? Since when is Camp Half-Blood on Cliff? It's described as near as the strawberry fields. One change that isn't actually too bad about this part is that the explanation about the Heart of the West that Chiron gives is given during that little tour thing before they meet up with Annabeth. Wait, hold on. What's that? Percy just right away believes that the gods exist? Well, yeah, they remove Percy having any doubt of the gods whatsoever, and it's kind of annoying. But the worst thing is this. Names have lost power. Remember that whole thing about names having power? Well, it's gone, and they actively ignore it to the point that they just blatantly say Fury, or Zeus, or Poseidon with no issue at all. Despite that being a pretty big part of the whole gods thing. Moving on, there's a stupid line from Percy, a dumb speech from Annabeth, and let's see here. And for some... moronic reason, Annabeth shows absolutely no surprise when Percy bends the toilet water around his head, and instead of giving, guess what? Another stupid line. This is a shocking moment because it's one of the first times we actually get to see his water abilities in action. So this is a pretty big moment, but no, we can't enjoy anything from the original book here, so let's move on. Luke's scar is gone, like, entirely. Even in the second book adaptation, it's gone. Like, entirely from the entire thing. Like, even like that piece of media that totally isn't a Percy Jackson movie. In both of them, the scar is gone. Both of them. Where is it? Where's the scar, you Why is the capture of the flag scene so much shorter than it is in the book? Like, it just cuts straight to the creek. No prep, just there. And why is Percy getting less beat up? It's pretty much just Clarice and that's it. Not her teammates really at all. Well, until he gets the water powers, and then they employ the well-known tactic of coming at you one at a time. Okay. Speed round number 2. Okay. What the hell? Why do they say Lord instead of Father of Horses? Why did the gods look like they just got out of meth rehab? Where is the mist Gabe from the Oracle and his poker friends? The fight with the Furies is gone. The bus scene is entirely gone. Medusa? Gone. That's right. They removed the entire thing with Auntie M's Gnome Emporium. The explanation of a mist? Yeah, for some reason they changed that to be on the way to the arch. Like, the entire fight with Echidna is pretty much gone. And, why is the Iris call with Luke from a burst pipe? It's not a collect call. It's a call made by Percy, Annabeth, and Grover to talk with Luke from a... That's right. A car wash, not an alleyway. Can we talk about how Ares looks like I'd find him in hell, summoned by a guide voodoo doll? It looks like I'm about to summon him like this. Speaking of Ares, where did that scene with collecting Ares' shield go? You know, that huge part where they have to go get Ares' shield in the abandoned water park? Where Annabeth and Percy's romance really started? You know, where Percy learned of Annabeth's fear of spiders that ultimately leads to them being able to leave the Lotus Casino? Gone. All of it. In fact, we only see Ares twice, at the diner at the end of the book. Where did this scene go? It's just erased with no mention of or trace of its existence. Why? Plus, why did they have to change the inhumane animal transport to a delivery truck? It was just fine and even let Percy make the discovery he can talk to horses. But they just had to ruin it, didn't they? Aside from that, the rest of the book is okay, but there is one unforgivable thing that I can't just gloss over. They removed the scene where Percy is poisoned by Luke. That's right, they removed an entire plot twist and rather made Chiron tell Percy. Why? Why couldn't you have just kept it the way it was? Seriously, why? Why did that need to be changed? This is the first book or movie review I've ever made, so yeah, it took about 3 weeks to make, and then another like 2 months on top of that to start recording and editing. So please support me so I don't run out of food and funds for food. I don't want to die.